Am I scared? A little bit, yes. Boom, my God. Shell-shocking, gut-wrenching. This is Baskin-Robbins, people. Holy cheese sandwich. What the hell? Hi, my friends. It's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer. And oh my God, do I have a video for you today. You've got to watch this video. It's going to affect every single person starting right now all the way until May 1st, 2025. It is such a brutally difficult aspect in just the transiting chart that's going to affect us collectively. You can feel it right now. And it is so darn difficult in my own chart. I wanted to talk about it. And it's happening simultaneously to my Saturn return. I just have to say, I believe that having knowledge and awareness can create the opportunity to make things better in your own life. So knowledge is power, and that's why we're here. And I do not want you to miss this video. Now, let me tell you something. You can watch this video at any point in your life, even when I am no longer here on the planet. You can watch this video for whenever Mars is in retrograde. However, I am talking about this particular Mars in retrograde in 2024. However, this video will be relevant for you whenever you experience a Mars in retrograde, because I'm going to take you through all 12 houses. I've jotted down some notes, but this mostly comes from my heart and soul, my own experience. It's very difficult to find any material on, any really intellectual, good material on Mars in retrograde. So I am happy that you found me, because this is the channel where you can get deeper astrology and more of an authentic perspective around how it's going to affect you. If you're listening to a video that's like, you are a Cancer, well, you're going to have Mars affecting your first house. Well, that's not true, because that's only true if you're Cancer rising. So we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to do it a little bit more accurately. Now, I just want you to know that this Mars in retrograde that's coming up, you're going to start to feel it in just a few days on October 5th. I don't know when you're watching this, but if you're watching this before May 1st, 2025, then you're already in it. Again, you can watch this whenever Mars is in retrograde, and Mars goes into retrograde every 2 years, and it can stay retrograde between 60 and 80 days. Now, let me tell you something. There is 4 different stages to this Mars in retrograde. And yes, I'm going to talk specifically about the retrograde, but there is 2 shadow periods, a pre-shadow and a post-shadow, and they're pretty real. We'll talk a little bit about what that means, but you could just put the dates in your head and know that this is going to start on October 5th, 2024, and it ends on May 1st or 2nd, depending which time zone you're in. I'm just going to say May 1st. It's easy to remember. During that time period, you're going to get the actual retrograde, but you're going to get the pre-shadow and the post-shadow too. And it is a real thing. Now, I want to tell you something. Mars in retrograde is not a Mercury in retrograde. Yes, you can buy a house. Yes, you can go on a first date. Yes, make your travel plans. I just want you to know that now we're talking about energy. We're not talking about the nuts and bolts and logistics. And the energy is going to be a little bit thwarted. So we're going to go deep into it. The very first thing I want you to do is get out your gorgeous natal chart. And if you don't have your gorgeous natal chart, head on over to shopsoulnavigation.com and go buy your gorgeous natal chart. It's a great way to support my work, the channel, and truthfully, it benefits you because my charts are so easy to read. So what I want you to do is get out that gorgeous natal chart, and so many of you have them already, but if you don't, I really do want you to work with mine, because why? Because you'll be able to friggin' read it. Yeah, you'll get to read all the boxes and the keys. If you can't figure out the circle, you can start with all of the boxes on my chart. So what I want you to do, here's the homework assignment. Are you with me? I want you to figure out where you have 17 degrees Cancer. And then I want you to go forward, and I want you to see where you have 6 degrees Leo. Now, some people that will span across one house, like me. And with other people, it will span across 2 houses. So you've got to listen to 2 houses. And even actually, some people could have it span across 3 houses, believe it or not. But that is very rare and highly unlikely. So let's talk about this. It's going to actually start. It's going to begin. So I want you to look and see what house or houses you have Cancer at 17 degrees all the way to Leo at 6 degrees. Okay, by the way, I have to tell you something else. We're not taking orbs with this assignment. So no 10 degrees forward and no 10 degrees backwards. So Cancer at 17 degrees does not mean Cancer at 7 degrees. It means Cancer at 17 degrees. So that's where this whole thing kicks off, at Cancer at 17 degrees. And if your sun, let me just tell you, if your sun is Cancer at 15 degrees, that is not Cancer at 17 degrees. Okay, just for this assignment, we are not taking orbs because we're already including the orbs in this. Okay, that's a little bit advanced, but go look at where you have Cancer at 17 degrees. And I want you to look and see what house that's at. And I want you to see if you're going to listen to one house or two houses or possibly three houses, but that's very, very rare. Wherever you have 17 degrees Cancer, that is sort of like the San Andreas fault line. That is the fault line. That is the beginning of this. So on October 5th, we're going to start to feel Mars's rumbling as it is sitting at the degree. It is actually sitting at the degree in which it is going to end its entire cycle at 17 degrees Cancer. So it's going to start at 17. It is going to go all the way to 6 degrees Leo. And then it's going to take all that time to get to 17 degrees Cancer again, right? And that's going to happen on February 23rd, 2025. And then it's going to go forward, and it's going to take all that time until May 1st or 2nd, depending if you live in Pacific time or Eastern time, to get back to that 6 degrees Leo and spring out of the gates and go forward. So let me give you the actual dates, okay? So October 5th, it enters the shadow period, and Mars is going to be sitting at 17 degrees Cancer. Then on December 6th or 7th, it's going to go to 6 degrees Leo, and it's going to hit its retrograde. So that's going to be a really, really big, powerful, impactful day. Between October 5th and December 6th, believe me, you will see it and you will feel it, but it will be boom loud by the 6th. And then on February 23rd, it's going to be back at that 17 degrees Cancer. So that's a big boom. That's a very, very big boom, kaboom day. And that's at that 17 degrees, right? And so it goes direct, but it's not out of zone yet. It takes all the way until May 1st or 2nd until it springs out of the gate, like I said, on that 6th degree of Leo. This is in play. And I've got to also tell you something else. Hello, oh my God, random, but what the hell? Can you believe on November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, Mars will exactly oppose, and remember, it's right there in that pre-shadow, it exactly opposes Pluto at the anaretic degree, the 29th degree. So Mars is at 29 degrees Cancer, and it is opposing Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. Oh my God. Am I scared? A little bit, yes. Why? Because I'm sitting here, in hot lava on a volcanic rupture called the United States presidential election. What the hell? And so the election is November 5th. This is an exact opposition on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And by the way, we do take an orb for that day. So that American election is during Mars-Pluto opposition, and it's in the shadow of retrograde. So we're going to talk about what this means more, but I'm a little sick to my stomach. I'm nervous. I am a political junkie. I have giant political opinions. I usually keep them to myself. I will not be doing an election chart. I thought I might want to, and I did it for my own self, sitting in my own living room, but it's too volatile, and I don't want to be a part of the volatility. And if you're going to do an election prediction or chart or talk about the candidates or whatever, you're going to create volatility. I'm over here trying to embrace tranquility, as my Mars in retrograde in my chart suggests I should do. So what's interesting is on that November the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, that Mars is at 29 degrees. It's at 29 degrees Cancer, and it's opposing the 29th degree Capricorn. So we are getting out of Capricorn with our Pluto. Our Pluto is moving into Aquarius. On December 7th, Mars goes retrograde at 6 degrees Leo, and it starts the opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. Because Pluto on that December 7th, guess what? And I think it's also the 6th and the 7th, is at 0 degrees Aquarius. So we've entered now a new kind of opposition. And Leo and Aquarius, it's fire and air. It is kaboom. And in Cancer and in Capricorn, that's the parental access. That's men and women. That's mom and dad. That's very personal. That's your home and the public house. Leo and Aquarius opposition, it is just big, giant drama and it's humanity. We're going to have a new opposition and it's going to be, I think, loud. That also happens again on April 26th. We will have a Mars Pluto opposition in Aquarius and Leo, but this Mars will actually be direct, but it's still in the post shadow. Are you guys following me? I hope so. On May 1st, we're really going to feel a great liberation 10 days after. Just think of Cinco de Mayo. We have a good reason to be drinking our margaritas. Yes. And I like them on the rocks with extra salt if anybody wants to buy me one. Let's talk about the definition of Mars in retrograde and what the hell it's even doing and what is it about. I don't mind a Mars in retrograde. Like Mercury in retrograde is highly annoying. Mars in retrograde is a lot like a Venus in retrograde. And you guys, I have a Venus in retrograde video that I would love for you to go watch because it is redefining women and redefining beauty. Mars in retrograde, this is my personal opinion. This isn't anything that I've read, but this is what I've seen and what I've studied. I do think that there is a redefinition of masculinity and of men. I will tell you that I do think this is true. I think men are being redefined right now and what it means to be masculine. There is a high consciousness around, at least in the States, I don't know if it's everywhere, toxic masculinity, the Tate brothers in Romania and all that. Male power is being redefined and how men use power and quite frankly, how men want to use power. So that's a big piece of this Mars retrograde. Why do I say that? Well, remember, it kicks off in the highly personal Cancer, and Cancer is how you nurture. Cancer is on the parent axis and it is opposing Pluto, and the abuse of power will be exposed. Hello, can we all say it together? P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. Yeah, I know every man is innocent until proven guilty. Well, right now at this filming date, he has 180 people that have come forward. So, I think this is going to be absolutely shell-shocking, gut-wrenching. I think the exposure of his crimes are going to be just, our brains aren't even going to be able to compute or imagine how utterly evil this man was on his interior while his exterior showed a high veneer. I mean, he never really had me convinced that he was a great guy. And I don't know, is this is the Sean Combs news, the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy news, is it really reaching Romania and France? And is it reaching my friend in Kuwait who's coming to the Barcelona workshop? I want to know. I don't even know if it's relevant news around the world, but it is disgusting. I do think you're going to see that the masculine part of ourself is in the conversation. And the masculine part of yourself is your life force, is your will, is your willpower, it's your anger, it is where you are hot-headed, it is your energy, it's how you move through life. I always say this, and I hope you guys loved my Jupiter series, and I'm going to go deep into Jupiter in Barcelona, and it's going to be amazing, and you'll be able to buy that workshop after my editor can edit it in a couple months. Mars is how you wake up in the morning and how and when you put your feet on the ground and how you walk through your front door. And it's how you attack or tackle the whole entire day. So are you a gentle goes through the day, or are you like, rah? I mean, are you the black bear, or are you the gentle dancer dancing your way through life? That's your life force energy. That's your Mars. If Mars is uninspired, it does nothing with itself. It literally just does no thing at all. So Mars does need Jupiter because Jupiter is your belief system, and it needs Mercury, your mind. You should really look at your Mars and tell me, is your Mars in a happy aspect to Jupiter? Is Mars in a good aspect to Mercury? Because Mars doesn't do anything without inspiration or passion. So Mars is the action you take after you are inspired by something to do so. Mars is so lovely when it's high functioning, but Mars is so ugly and so dangerous and can be so disgusting when it is unhealthy. So if you've got an unhealthy person in your life, go look and see what's happening to their Mars in their natal chart and what sign do they have it in? And is it talking to that Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn and Mars in Cancer? So this is just a little side note, okay? So I'm going through this Saturn return and pretty tough. I'm also going through a Neptune square Sun, I should say Neptune square Venus. I've now got this Mars Pluto opposition while it's in Cancer square to my moon. It's really tough. And that's why I wanted to do this video. It is kind of like a chronic and constant request for me to shift my energy, change my footwork, walk a different path that I don't want to walk, that I didn't want to walk, that I didn't think about walking down, a regroup constantly, not getting my way. I don't want to say ever, but really not getting my way. Like my television pilot, it didn't take off. I didn't have enough views on it. It kind of hurt. But at the same time, the people that really know me and love me in my life, they're like, Meredith, is that really what you want to spend your energy on? Serial killers? I'm like, oh. And my mom asked me, Meredith, you did 3 episodes. I only had 1 produced. But all 3 episodes of your serial killers, they're all alive. Do you think you could pick people that are dead? I'm like, I know. So it's a regroup. It's a reshuffling. It's also, I want to tell you, when Mars goes retrograde and when it is in a hard aspect in your chart, it's a blow to the ego. It's a real surrender process too. So let's keep talking about it. What is Mars and Mars retrograde? So this is where you can feel like you are impatient for what you want. This is where your ego wants to run the show but can't. Let me give you another example. My dad, who just suffered from a triple brain bleed from watering his flowers in July, has had a miraculous recovery. I was by his bedside for about 30 to 40 days, and it just was awful. And now he can walk with a walker to the mailbox down the street, and he can eat, and he can dress himself. And this is a miracle, you guys. This is like unbelievable miracle. But now his ego is in it to win it. Do I blame him? No, I don't blame him. You know, he wanted to drive to go get a haircut. And I was like, are you kidding? And also their driveway, the way it is, it's like really complicated how you have to get the car into the garage. And I mean, if you just backed right out, you would hit a wall. And so it's really quite tight and tough. Anyways, I was like, oh my God, no, but I understand the ego's drive. The ego wants us to live and to live full out and to live passionately, to live wholly and to wholly, like fully. And so I get it. But this is when your ego wants maybe more than what you get. And it is painful. You want to know why this happens? It's because at this time when Mars goes retrograde, we want to go full out. And things are stopping us. So your energy is thwarted. So when I say that, I really mean it. Your project, your passion project is thwarted. Hello, I get that. So there's an impatience and we want things to be moving. So we're pressing on the gas and we keep pressing the gas so much so where we flood it. For me, it's like my scooter, like I'm revving the engine, right? So much so that I flood it and I create a dead battery. That's what this Mars in retrograde can be like. And so I think you're going to see collectively in the world, some people, wonder when that will be, probably November 5th, not get their way. And there will be outrage. There will be outbursts. There will be no, I am not losing. I'm not joking. You will see 2-year-old temper tantrums. You will have a 2-year-old temper tantrum about something. You might even get mad or quick-tempered over something kind of stupid. So I want to share this video with you because I want to invite you, like I'm inviting my own self, to relax, to do some self-soothing, to have compassion for yourself. I had to have compassion for myself when I had to surrender, right? My pilot not taking off. Have a kindness for yourself and for others. Do not stand in judgment for others. Give yourself more time to complete your projects. Do not bump yourself right up against the deadline. Oh my God, please don't be me and just, work yourself to death up until the very last moment. My daughter is at university now, and she's really in a big world. Like, her world grew 500%, maybe 1,000%. It is giant. I mean, it's real. Like, the decisions she makes will either hurt or help her. She and I met for dinner, and she talked to me about some decisions that she had made that didn't go very well. Well, that's a part of growing up, right? And believe me, I could have sat there in so much judgment, like, why'd you do that? And you know better, and blah, blah, blah. I could have just done the mom thing. I didn't. I had to really surrender that natural instinct in me, that mama bear in me. So just remember, Mars in Cancer is also the mama bear. It's the parent. Emotional instinct in us. And believe me, I had an emotional instinct to be like, what? But I didn't. Suppress yourself a little bit. Be kinder than you would normally be right now. I'm not joking. I was kinder than I would normally be. It's important to me to be a good mom. It's important to me to be a good friend. It's important to me to be good to my own self. I'm going to be really honest with you. Nobody is going to be kinder to you than you are to your own self. Be kind to yourself right now. I also want to tell you, some people are born with Mars in retrograde. And if you are, I really, really, really recommend you go watch my entire Progressed series. It's going to be a little bit advanced. It's going to be a little bit hard. I teach you how to use the ephemeris, and I show you where to buy it. You can buy it on my Amazon shop, and you can go see all my links, including my Amazon link on my Instagram in my bio at soul_navigation. Go over there and click on my bio and click on my link tree, and it will take you to my shop, and get your Amazon books from there and get your ephemeris from there. I show you the ones to buy. Anyways, if you were born with Mars in retrograde, I want you to work with your Progressed chart, because it might go direct. It might not. It takes 80 to 90 days for it to go to direct. So you might be 90 years old before it goes direct. But if you live a long life, you really might get Mars direct. And that is a very, 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 very important time in your life. So that's kind of like when you get your get out of jail free card. And I say that lovingly, only in the game of Monopoly, get out of jail free, not like real jail. You will want to know. And how you'll figure that out is go watch my entire Progressed playlist on my channel, because I don't always trust other people on YouTube. Some astrologers I really love on YouTube, but I don't want to send you out there in the hinterland of YouTube astrology when I don't really know what's out there, but I know what I teach. I would tell anybody who has Mars in retrograde, there's probably a sense of really having to surrender their ego. So right now we're talking about transiting Mars in retrograde. The place in your chart where transiting Mars in retrograde is impactful and it is powerful. However, I want to say that it is such a big deal. Oh my God, holy cheese sandwich. What the hell is going on? It is opposing friggin' Pluto. Like, there is not a harder aspect. Maybe the square. Oh my God, we are going to see this so loud. I mean, we have 2 wars. We have hurricanes and floods across the globe, and this American election, which is just a shit show. It's a complete shit show. 2 assassination attempts on one of the candidates. So that's Mars Pluto. Where you have this personally in your chart is critical, because wherever you have this in your chart, you are also having this Mars Pluto in your chart. Hold on to your hat in this windstorm and really set yourself up. I'm not joking. Go out and buy the drinks that you want, the soft, cozy blanket that you want, and a fluffier pillow. People, I want to tell you something. You deserve a good pillow. If you're watching this channel, you, my sweet friend, better be laying your head on a pillow that feels great. Invest in your pillow. And that is the first step in self-soothing 101. Like, really get a good pillow, because I want you to sleep well. The energy is going 2 ways. It's volatile It wants to go outward. It gets trapped and it goes inward and it gets buried within. And we can turn on ourselves. I'm going to tell you guys something that other people just don't talk about. And this is a big deal. This is the time when you can self-sabotage. Watch these world leaders and watch the American election and watch how people self-sabotage. Like what idiotic things they do and say that actually don't advance them. So this is a time when you can self-sabotage yourself by the action that you take, by stepping in it. And be careful. This is literally the time when you can step in the poop. Make smart decisions and then take action that is thoughtful. That's really what I want to tell you. You might really struggle to sustain your energy or your interest in a particular education or class or job or friend. I don't necessarily love getting a new job when Mars is in retrograde. I also say if you're thoughtful and if it advances you and if it's really good for you and your energy and it's soothing to your soul, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Would I ask for a raise right now? Maybe not. I don't know. I might if I could be really, really, really thoughtful. I want to tell you that you can also have an internalized anxiety. There can be a great deal of internal anxiety. There can be an emotional, a psychological, a physical frustration. It's like you are in that pressure cooker where you're very stressed out, even by the things that you hear or see. You can also find that it's difficult for you to be spontaneous or be impulsive or have a good reaction time. You might second guess yourself. You might choose the thing you probably shouldn't have. You might have missed an opportunity, not seen an opportunity. You might have wasted an opportunity. You might have not taken your shot. Like, take your shot, but do it with thoughtfulness. Don't hesitate so much that you just live in a fear. I'm just saying, step back, count to 10 Mississippis, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. I want to know, do other people in other places in the world count Mississippis for seconds? If not, I want to know, how do you count your seconds? If you don't use Mississippi, what do you use? Like in France, are you like 1 Marseille, 2 Marseille? What are you doing? Yeah, that's very American. So count your Mississippis, go slow. So don't live in a paralyzed fear. Take your action. I just really want you to have done your research. We are going to see problematic energy in the world. We are going to see problems on a grand scale, and we are going to see outbursts. We're going to see rage. We're going to see that there are arguments and conflicts and power struggles galore. Why? Because Capricorn is involved in the beginning of this retrograde. And Capricorn is the institutions. It is the government. It is the law. It is, the grand poobah. And then Cancer is maybe the heart, the person, the individual. By understanding this and that there's probably going to be pent up energy, get your exercise, eat great food, go slow, buy your new pillow. And you probably can handle it better. Your energy needs to be on simmer rather than on high. And you'll see that in the world, there's like fits and starts, like, ooh, we're on. No, we're not. Ooh, your flight is on time. Now it's delayed. Get ready for it. But don't be too hard on yourself when success does not land in your lap or when something's taken away. Just regroup. Just know that there is a divine plan. This is what I had to say to myself. There is a divine plan, and the universe is steering me to where I can be the most effective, where I can find the most joy, and where I can grow the thing I most want right now, and that is tranquility. If tranquility is truly the thing I want, do I want to be grinding out television shows on serial killers? Maybe not, right? So I have to surrender a little bit to be able to let the universe show me what the best way to use my energy is. So I'm going to go through the houses kind of quickly. I won't go through them really deeply. If you have Mars between that 17 degrees Cancer and 6 degrees Leo in your first house, or if it crosses your ascendant, this is about your physicality. This is literally How do you use your energy to get what you want in life? And you might get not what you want, but what you need. And this is fiery. So I do want you to be careful of fires, of engines, of anything that ignites or sparks right now. But I also want you to think about not hurting yourself physically. Do not overdo it. Do not run a marathon if you haven't stretched out, etc. Do not lift more weights than what you should. Like, be really cognizant of not overexerting your body. And I also want to tell you to not take risks that are too enormous. The way in which you present yourself, see yourself, or experience yourself, or utilize your own physical body is thwarted or under revision or wants to be more thoughtfully executed or managed. Things that have angered you or not gone your way may have actually upset your energy by the way that you show up in the world. This is a time to really slow down. Work through your anger, work through your frustration in a new way. Be willing to have a paradigm shift. Get an astrology reading. Really dive into, why am I like this? Why is my energy this way? Why am I impatient? Why am I a procrastinator? Why do I have high anxiety? Why am I infuriated? Why am I depressed? Why am I sad? So whatever it is that you are figuring out, that maybe needs to be revised a little bit, figuring out why you are that, and then taking on the responsibility to own your own actions and to become more thoughtful, to attract that which you want and to present yourself in a new way is being asked of you. You could be experiencing a death or a loss of something that has massively irritated you. Could be a job, it could be a person, saying goodbye to something or someone that has massively irked you. This is a very, very, very prominent placement. And if you have this, I'm sure you're going through something really rough right now, but it is a time to invest in you more thoughtfully. In the second house, we have to take a look at what you're valuing and how you value yourself. And are there better ways for you to invest your money or use your resources and your resources of energy and love too? And are there things that you could do where you could put yourself out there a little bit more to create or generate more security for yourself? Do you want to save for a home, a down payment? This is a really good time to take a look at what you're spending your money on and what things can you let go of that, I have to tell you this, just quick little story minute. For a very long time, I never drove a nice car. And then I started to drive a really super fun car. And then I got into racing cars. I know that sounds funny, but I bought this car that I could actually race. I know that sounds crazy. It's my alter ego. I just loved having pride in my ride. And then I got a teenager and I had a family car that was a little bit not very fancy that I let her drive. Then I had my fancy car, and then we had my husband's car. And then I got a scooter, and I'm like, this is stupid. This is so dumb. So I sold my fancy car during COVID, and I actually made $9,000 profit. Like, who does that? And so I bought a scooter instead. And I let my daughter drive our not so fancy car, and we share it. And so now I don't really even have a nice car. I have a not so nice fancy car. I don't have a fancy car, and I have a scooter. For so long, I just wanted this pride in my ride, and I liked going fast, and oh my God, I have the speeding tickets to prove it. Not recently though, knock on wood, not since I got rid of it. Now I really don't have any pride in my ride, except for my little bubblegum pink scooter. That's really fun. By the way, that cost like $1,500. It wasn't very expensive. It's super cheap. I love it. I don't have a car payment. I literally don't have a car payment. So what large things are you spending money on that are just kind of ego-based or fulfilling just something that's not really necessary? That's this. And remember, you guys, this Mars in retrograde in 2024 is particularly about letting go, death, divorce, because it's opposing Pluto. So getting rid of, exfoliating, sloughing off, removing. So your assets, really look at your budget. Like, what are you doing with your money? And is it truly making you value yourself more? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I really want to say, don't spend impulsively right now. Oh my God, don't do it. Really be thoughtful with your money right now. And I have found people don't like you less because you don't have money. They really don't. Money actually has nothing to do with friendship. Thoughtfulness does. I also want to say that this is a time when you really need to value your own self-worth, and you really need to remove the people that are jealous of you. If jealousy is a major factor in your relationship, this is a time to get rid of jealous people that try to bring you down and try to keep you inside their own misery. When it's transiting the third house, this is like, I'm just being really honest with you. So if you have Cancer at 17 degrees to 6 degrees Leo, Mars is in your third house. And so you have an opposition to Pluto in your ninth house. And this is where you are being asked to communicate and to be more thoughtful exponentially. I also want to tell you, you might find out that there are real liars and cheaters in your life, people that don't tell you the truth and people that lie to you. Get rid of the lies and get rid of any institution, any cult, political affiliation that you feel is lying to you. You really right now need to nurture yourself with being brave enough to learn the truth about yourself and about life. Reduce your frustration and remove the liars from your life. Also, I want to tell you, this is a time you could become impatient. You could feel not heard. So you now overtalk, or you're overly loud, or you over communicate, or you over express yourself when nobody's really interested. Like, did I ask you how I feel about you? No, I didn't. So please don't tell me. I'm just saying, let's pretend we're in a relationship and you want to just say, I love you. Well, did I ask you? I mean, am I really in it that deep with you? Or are you just imposing your words onto me? So you can try too hard when Mars retrogrades. You can try too hard, and you might be trying too hard with your words, with your feelings, with your expression. Bring honesty, but bring it thoughtfully. Bring honesty to the table thoughtfully. I also want to say this is a time when you could overcommit, or you could the third house is a very busy house. So this is a time when you could overextend yourself and just say yes to everybody. I also want to tell you, this is a time when you could have car problems, or when you need to get rid of your car, because the third house is the automobile. If Mars is retrograding in your fourth house, 17 degrees Cancer to 6 degrees Leo, this is a time when you really need to go within, redirect your energy within. You might have anger issues, frustrations, irritations. You might be irked by someone in your family, and you might need to step away for a little while. You might need to take a break. You might need to go on sabbatical. You might need to remove them altogether. But this is a time for you to find compassion for yourself, to self-nurture and self-love. I'll tell you, there might be real lethargy. You might feel like you've been the total giver. And I'm not saying it's a time to just be a taker, but you might need to stop giving right now. You might feel like something's not quite right with your home. Your home might need a repair. It might need more energy. You might need to fix something about your dwelling, or your foundation, your legacy, where you come from, what you have inherited. You might not want the thing that you've inherited, and you might want to put an end to it. I'll also tell you that this is a time when you could be really passive aggressive, where you are so frustrated that you throw your little zingers, right? Or you go completely cold and you remove yourself. I just want to tell you, like, moderation. You don't need to leave mean. You can leave lovely. Thank you for this evening. I really appreciate the dinner that you made for me. Get the hell out of there. Stay polite, stay kind. You'll like yourself better if you are. You don't have to say, I really appreciate the dinner that you gave me or that you made, but your company really sucked ass. Whoops. Just end on a good note. You might have a hard time inside your home. Like, this could even be your children, your husband, your spouse, anybody who lives in your home, your animal. Yeah. There could be needing to take space from. Okay, if Mars is in retrograde and it's transiting your fifth house, you might not realize, or you might not be allowing your creativity to express itself. I'm telling you that I think right now, if you have Mars in the fifth house, you are going to be presented with options that will require you to be creative, take a risk, be unique, be different, or get authentic. Go for it. And you might not want to, but I'm telling you, you could have real opportunities to end sort of the boring, non-existent game that's going on with yourself, like not trying out for the school play, to wanting to. And I say go for it. But you might have so many irons in the fire. This is also a really creative and busy house that you might not be able to finish your projects. Don't procrastinate. I also want to encourage you to be moderate. Don't be just maniacal crazy about finishing your projects, but also don't be lazy and shut your creativity down. Be moderate, make it smaller so it's doable, right? But right now is a great time for you to recharge your vitality batteries and rev them up. You know, I have to, on my electric bike, I have to keep it at half charged and then I have to use it. Otherwise, the battery will totally die. So find the moderation on using your energy to also find your authentic creativity and put your time into a passion that you really love, not the thing that is boring. Your life is not meant to be boring right now. There is a creative outlet for you to express your authentic self. And also, let's say you're writing a book and you don't like how it's turning out. Don't keep writing it. Crumple up the paper and throw it in the trash. Start over. Do the projects that you want to do. Spend your time on that which is real to your heart. Get your heart in alignment with your energy and do those things in moderation. Don't neglect your heart. This could be a time when you do get a little bit of a rejection around somebody who you love just because Pluto is opposing, or a friendship might break up. Surrender the ego. Remember the whole beginning of this video? I hope you watched it. Please go watch the beginning of this video. This is all about surrendering the ego. You didn't want them anyway. You did not want them anyway. They were not good enough for you. If you get really real about it, there's something better for you. Let the universe present to you why that date didn't work out. This could be like a dud date for real, because this is the house of romance. And it doesn't mean all of them are. I'm just saying if one doesn't work out, next, take a number. This is Baskin-Robbins, people. You got options. By the way, what's your favorite flavor at Baskin-Robbins? That I want to know. I love daiquiri ice on a summer day. Oh my God. And my favorite is like mint chocolate chip with chocolate chip. I'm so basic. I'm so mid. This is the time to eat your favorite Baskin-Robbins ice cream. And I know my people in Europe and everywhere else, you don't have Baskin-Robbins, I don't think. Do you? Is it like Starbucks where there's one on every street corner? If Mars is retrograding through your sixth house, you might see that work has become a problem. It's boring. There's doldrums. You might not be able to complete your assignments. There might be too much work. It doesn't mean you can't be productive, but I do want to say, like, slow down and really manage and review and revise your productivity. And don't be, I don't know how to say this, like so focused that you can't complete the job, the daily job. And don't be so scattered that you can't do quality work. Again, it's moderation. I also want to say, ask for help, get a team together. And I want to tell you, you could be hot-headed at work, but putting together a program that is highly efficient and highly effective, surrendering your ego if you don't get recognized for the work that you did. This is the time when somebody could steal your work and take credit. I'm going to tell you, you could lack a physical or an emotional energy that you need, that is required to get the job done. It's okay. You might have a demanding job of being, a mom and work, or a parent and doing it all. And I'm just saying, pace yourself. Don't expect yourself to do it all and to be the end all be all to everyone. It's like the juggling. Rest, time out. It's okay. It's okay. Build a team. Delegate some of this. You've got to slow down and manage your anxiety right now. You absolutely have to. This is a highly anxious time because your energy is trapped internally. And when it doesn't have an expression, it becomes highly anxious. The seventh house, you might need to really take a look at if your relationships are benefiting you, your work relationships, your marriage. And there could be a power struggle. One partner or one friend might want to leave. One business partner might want to end. One spouse might want to end, might want to take space. You know what? Take some space. Get independent right now. If there isn't mutual happiness, it's okay to reevaluate it. I also want to tell you there could be a power play, and this means that Pluto is probably near to your ascendant. So your whole life really wants to change right now. Your relationships, your relationship to your own self, to your body. You are being asked to really revise, and it's painful how you are doing you and how you are doing your relationship. I would say the word here is moderation through compromise and diplomacy, tact and grace. There could be something bubbling up and really brewing around feeling irritated with your partnership. You might feel like, I don't want to stay home and take care of this person. Maybe this person is ill or sick. I say hire a nanny. Just take care of yourself. You might find that there's more arguments at this time because there's pent up frustrations. Don't forget, they're having a Mars in retrograde too. You also, I don't want you to be anybody's doormat. This is when you can just bottle everything up and not speak up, not advocate for yourself inside your relationships. So really try to stay inspiring, kind, and take action to talk diplomatically and gracefully to your partner to persuade them, gently see your way. I wouldn't be too harsh, strong with your partner. It could blow things up. So find that balance. Okay, the 8th house. You might be craving more intimacy, and intimacy might be craving more of you. Finding that beautiful way in which you can slow down enough to create intimacy. One thing that I found is intimacy cannot be rushed. It can't be. Yes, you can have fast sex or a quickie. That's not necessarily intimate. So intimacy requires slowing down. Trust that you will be received. You might at this time not want to put yourself out there, might not want to ask or create or nurture the intimacy. You might feel stifled or shy or pent up. I say kind of unzip yourself and let yourself be revealing enough to create intimacy with a person that you really love and trust. And I would also say be willing to have honest, deep, heartfelt, soul-felt conversations to generate intimacy with your partner. Allow yourself to be the safe space for your partner to express themselves to be intimate with you. Be careful if somebody says they want to invest in your idea, your business, or your concept right now. If you're looking for investors, just because Mars is in retrograde and it's opposing Pluto. If I was looking for investors and I found somebody in a Mars in retrograde, Shark Tank, for example, ooh, they like my crochet kit that I'm selling, right? I'd really want to read the fine print of that investment. The 9th house. This is very interesting. This might be when a trip was that you were planning on can't happen. I don't know, maybe somebody got COVID and they can't go. This can be when you have these travel plans and they get thwarted. Just know it's going to be okay. And there might be a better reason that you can't even see. So somehow a trip might not go as expected. But I also want to say that I really want you to get in touch with what your vision is for your life. Your vision for your own self, your vision for your highest, best possible self to grow might need to be revised right now. Don't be afraid to change things up. Okay, so you wanted to be an actress and now you realized you need something more secure and you're going to go be a nurse. Be okay with it. So your highest, best self may need revising. You might really find the truth of you during this time. Get less busy, take some things off your plate, literally. You have Pluto in the 3rd house, so just do less. This is neurotically busy, I'm just telling you. Make your life simpler. Simplify things so you can get into your deeper truth of who am I? What do I want? And start building and growing a plan that serves your highest, best self. You might be way too scattered. This is the access where I'm like, if you haven't worn those shoes, if you have not worn those shoes in 2 years, go get rid of them. Purge. There's excess here. So what things or what ideas or what dreams should you let go of? Step into the new dream of what your highest goal might be. If Mars is retrograding in your 10th house, you might have been overlooked for a promotion, or in your career, you might not have gotten the job that you wanted. You might be so frustrated with not getting a job opportunity or having the status, the recognition, the fame, the fortune that you seek. Your book didn't take off like you thought it might. I want to tell you that right now is not really the time to be in a place where you just are dying to climb that corporate ladder. Just be content with what you've got right now and work a new plan. And I say when Mars goes direct, that's when you want to shoot out of the gates. So polish up your resume, get a new idea, network, talk to people. But I also want to tell you that who you are in the world might need to be revisited. Are you being what you want to be known for? As I mentioned before, my daughter is at the university. And one of the things I told her is the way that you get a reputation is not based on the truth of who you are. It is based on how you act and how people perceive you and what you look like. Sad as can be, right? sad as can be. Sometimes reputations are true, but oftentimes they really are not. This is the house of reputation. Are you in alignment with how people view you? Are you acquiring the kind of reputation that you want? And if not, get rid of the things that are contributing to it. I want you to know that your reputation is not always somebody else's fault. It's not always that somebody else said that about you and then they created it. It isn't always. Sometimes you wore the wrong shirt. Sometimes you said the wrong thing. Sometimes you had the wrong behavior. Sometimes you created an impression that you didn't even know you were creating. So surrender the ego and maybe create a new social circle. Maybe look for new work. Maybe renew who you want to be in the world and take moderate steps. Remember, not too hungry, not too loud. Don't be a hungry hippo. Modify who you want to be in the world, how you want to be seen and known, and what is your legacy? Are you creating the kind of legacy that you want for yourself? So when Mars retrogrades your 11th house, something about the organizations that you are in, your friends, your friendship group, your community, your network, the people that find you on the website, on the internet, something is being thwarted. Problems might come up. You might need to make adjustments around who your friendship circle is. I also want to ask you, are your needs being overshadowed and dominated by others that are in the group? Let's just say you go to church. Are you being seen at this church? Are you being heard? Are your needs being met? If you're at swim club, right? Are you included or are you not included? You might need to let go of some groups or just revise how you interact in the group. You don't always have to cut things off and eliminate them, but because that Pluto is opposing, it makes me wonder, somehow you might feel thwarted. You might feel cast aside, set out. You might not feel peaceful within this group or organization or this network any longer. I will also tell you this could be political. The 11th house oftentimes has politics attached to it. So your political party might not win. Are you going to be okay with it? Or are you going to storm the Capitol? Can you moderate? Can you accept defeat? Can you be okay not participating in this group? And the group can also just be an idea. For example, what if you have a political affiliation? Your team loses, right? But you're just sitting in your house and you're not attached to any group, but your team loses. Can you be okay with it? I also want to tell you, you might find yourself creating new bonds with new communities, new friends, new colleagues, finding a new way of embracing humanity, being a person who is in service to the bigger picture and stepping into that service. Okay, when Mars is in retrograde in the 12th house, your whole life might feel like you aren't sitting at the steering wheel. It's like, what's that song? Jesus Take the Wheel, right? It's like God is driving the bus and God might be driving the short bus and you're on it and you're just a passenger without a seatbelt on that bus. Why don't they have seatbelts on buses? Why do we have to wear a seatbelt in the car but not in the bus, right? Because if you slam your head on the seat in front of you on a bus, that's painful. I would say this is truly, truly learning how to surrender your energy and trusting God and developing a faith that maybe you didn't even have. Maybe you don't even know what you don't even know. I'll tell you another little secret story, personal story. So I have this going on right now, and my mom was really worried about her husband, my stepdad. And she just said to me, I don't think everything's going to be okay. And I said to her, and I truly meant it, Mom, I don't know how. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but I know we're going to make things better than okay. I had no plan. I had no answers. I just know we're going to get okay. I have no idea how. That's the 12th house. I'm also going to tell you, when Mars is retrograde in the 12th house, there is an emotional suck. This is the time when vampires literally want to steal your energy from you. It's exhausting. You've got to take more time. This is hospitalizations, prisons, and illness too. So you've got to take your vitamins and you've got to relax and you've got to calm down. You need to retreat from the heavy stresses of the world. And you need to sort of put yourself into the spiritual facets of life. Go within your dreams. You might be reclusive. You might feel very alone and you might feel like you can't get anything done. It's okay. This is a time for you to go into a reclusive retreat. I just want to tell you that if you've got Mars in retrograde in the 4th, the 8th, or the 12th house, you really, really need to be reclusive and retreat. I hope that you love this video, actually, because it's so important that we really stay in our grace, that we take care of ourselves so we can be better for the world. Wherever you are at, I am right here in Seattle. I'll be continuing to do my videos while I'm in Barcelona. So come and watch every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time with me right here at Soul Navigation. Take good care, and I wish you the very best.